Mike Carpenter, Jennifer Eve, sports with Ed Murray, and Paul Bouchereau with the weather. This is Newsline 9, Weekend Edition.
Good evening. Once again, a football weekend in Oklahoma, and football let us know if the rainy weather is going to stick around.
But showers didn't stop people from donating to Food Line 9 today.
And we'll show you some Indians who are camping out for a cause when we come back.
Cornett. This comes a month early as Oklahoma State quarterback Rusty Hilger caught.
This continues. Stay with us. This morning, nevertheless, Food Line 9 was a bigger success than ever before. Newsline 9's Randy Renner has more on our day of giving and sharing.
The rain fell steadily, but still they came. Car after car filled with Oklahomans bringing food by the sackfuls and boxfuls and even truckfuls. The weather really didn't seem to bother them.
People were nice to me 2 years ago, and I'd like to return the favor.
We need to give, and there's some people out here that can't give, and I see them crossing my work every day going in to get coffee from that downtown Baptist church. And if they haven't got it, and we do need to give. And
give they did. Some more than food.
Oh my goodness, if the blessings in the back here was just cash with the thunder. Oh, thank you very much. We really appreciate that.
Thank you so much. You're welcome.
As our day of giving and sharing went on outside in the parking lot, inside, officials with the Oklahoma City Food Bank and Newsline 9 worked to add up all the numbers. As usual, our fellow Oklahomans came through in a big way. 209,001 pounds of food came in a little more than 2 hours. Thanks to you, Thanksgiving and Christmas will be a little bit better for some people who never thought it would be. Randy Renner, Newsline 9.
A little earlier in our news, we accidentally misidentified an attorney in the...
Pretty wet right now. We may have some flooding if we do get that heavy rain in the east.
Okay, thank you, Paul. And John Snyder is up next with some OU and OSU highlights. Stay with us.
I don't remember who said it.
This week in country music, we'll see the hot new video by Alabama, and we'll hear the group's game plan for making next year their best ever.
And Lee Greenwood is in the spotlight with this week's #1 song. Plus, we'll see why Lee doesn't mind letting his wife be the star in their latest video project. Hello, I'm Charlie Chase.
I'm Lori Ann Crook. Be with us for This Week in Country Music.
This Week in Country Music, Sunday at 10:30 on TV9.
Well, it certainly was a big day for Big 8 fans today, and John Snyder is here to tell us more about it.
And what's next week going to be like? OU against OSU. It'll be the biggest game those two teams have ever played against each other, and they both now will be in great bowl games on January 1st, no matter where those games may happen to be. Against Oklahoma State for the trip to the Orange Bowl. They will both be rated in the top 5. Elsewhere in the Big 8 Conference, Kansas and Missouri. This is the traditional ender of the season for both teams. Kansas won it 35-21. Kansas finished in the top 4 of the Big 8. Colorado and Kansas State won that one 38. Great weekend.
Thank you, John. Next up, we'll get a sneak preview of tonight's Super Horse competition at the Fairgrounds Arena. Stay with us.
With a life expectancy...
With this year's Food Line 9 project, we appreciate your contributions, and we'll see you at 10 o'clock.
Good night.
Hairstyles for the Channel 9 News team provided by Boss Salon, the ultimate full-service salon.
Quail Springs Mall.
People are switching to Lincoln.
Seattle battles the Bengals, or the Dolphins take on the Chargers.
Your team plays here Sunday.
Hello, everyone. Coming up on News 4, California doctors hold a memorial service for baby Faye.
And Oklahoma's first heart-lung transplant recipient is now suffering organ rejection.
One man being treated for gunshot wounds after an attempted robbery at a local store, and we'll have this.
An Oklahoma County jailer is arrested for allegedly selling dope to inmates. I'm Scott Wallace. Details coming up on News 4.
We'll have these stories plus the weather and sports.
All up next on News 4 Oklahoma. Stay with us.
Or in Oklahoma City, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where this child is?
From Oklahoma City, Terry Cook, Dan Slocum, Dan Threlkeld, Bob Berry Jr. This is News 4 Oklahoma.
Good evening. News 4 has learned tonight that an Oklahoma County jailer is free on bond after being arrested.
Of Oklahomans still needing work.
And Tulsa housewives who want to be paid for their work.
And Hobby World's financial woes right after this.
Mary Lenz gets ready to try some new medicine.
But for another transplant patient, a memory.
In 1960,
a federal judge has refused, and the Postal Workers Union have gone into arbitration. But according to the union administration, it's a common thing for union members to strike to demonstrate their disdain from the recession. The state's unemployment rate moved slightly upward last month. The state's jobless rate in October rose to 6.9%, up from 6.6% in September. Officials at the State Employment Commission estimate that 109,900 Oklahomans were out of work last month, and that compares with 105,400 in September. Officials say the rise in unemployment is partly due to seasonal factors, but they also say it shows that Oklahoma's not recovering from the recession. Well, this miserable weekend weather is going to get wetter.
But there's no raining on the parade at the state fairgrounds. Details of this championship competition when we return.
Here's how Safeway's low prices can help.
Degrees out there right now. It'll come down a little bit, but not very much because the humidity is so high at 96%. We're really soggy out there. The wind's out of the northeast at 7, and the pressure is rising at the moment. And while the storm is going to move on through, it's going to be very slow. You're not going to see any significant change tonight and most of tomorrow. It'll begin to taper off just a little, but that's about it. See how we did on our temperatures today. First, let's take a look at the radar. There's our pattern. Now, the radar doesn't show the whole story. This rain is so light, and yet there's such a vast area of it that the radar beams attenuate, or in other words, get absorbed by it. There's actually rain over almost the entire state, except right in the southwest corner. It's just cloudy and not raining there at the moment. And now the rain actually looks a little brighter than it did earlier off here to the southeast. There's a slight chance of a few light thunder showers off in this area because the air coming up from Texas is just a little bit warmer than what we've got over here. But even if you should get a stray thunder shower or two in that, you can see the red through this area, meaning the rain's fairly heavy in that area. It's not going to be anything at all serious, and the general storm track will continue to move off to the northeast, but more and more will keep getting generated.
Our finishing competition tonight at the World Championship Quarter Horse Show. This is the show's last day, but all week different classes of quarter horses have competed in events like the one you're watching with the weather.
No, nobody is. Everyone's been asking me. They'll come in the weather department and say, when's it going to stop?
Well,
I loved it.
You like the weather?
I'm kidding.
You're one of the few. It was a wet day today, and guess what? Tomorrow's going to be another wet one. We're still kind of soggy out there. Right now in Oklahoma City, 39 degrees. We haven't changed much the last couple of hours. The humidity still at 96%. Our pressure is rising just a bit, 29, 94 right now, light rain continuing, winds from the northeast at 10 miles per hour. Let's take a look at the radar shot. Still some rain, but it's decreased in the last couple of hours. General movement is still to the east just a little bit. Some widely scattered showers just to the west now, the Oklahoma City area, and a patch of rain stretching from Stevens County back almost to Ofuskee County, still moving to the east and southeast. Tonight, don't look for any drastic changes, still kind of drizzly and damp conditions. Same thing goes for tomorrow morning. We'll see some gradual clearing during the afternoon hours in western Oklahoma tomorrow, but I think most of the day tomorrow will be a lot like today. It'll be a little bit cooler too. I think temperatures will only climb up into the upper 30s and low 40s across the state, so don't look for any drastic improvement. Let's take a look at the rainfall amounts from today. Rainfall amounts generally around a 2-inch or more from areas from the Altus area back down just south of the Oklahoma City area, then an inch of rainfall amounts or less just in the band north and south of there, and generally around an inch or less across the northern we'll call it third of Oklahoma, down to the southeast part of the state. Now, the possibility exists tonight for some flooding in some of the low-lying areas. We haven't had any really gully washers, but because of the continued rainfall amount, because it's not going to let up any, the ground is already saturated. Any additional rainfall amounts may cause some flooding in parts of Oklahoma, so be advised of that if you're in an area that normally floods. Just to kind of keep a lookout tomorrow. Highs this afternoon warmed all the way up to 37 degrees. That was the coolest high in Ponca City. 52 degrees, the hot spot in Altus. 43 this afternoon in Oklahoma City. 45 degrees in Hobart, and 44 degrees in the Gage-Woodward area. Tonight the winds have shifted around to the north and to the northeast just a little bit. 40 degrees right now in McAllister, and 38 degrees coming in from the Tulsa area. Overnight low temperatures for tonight will dip down into the low 30s. We may see some upper 20s in the Panhandle. With the rain coming down, possibility exists for some freezing rain, possibility for 1 or 2 snowflakes up in the Panhandle. I think most of that heavy-duty stuff, though, will be up in Kansas and up in the higher elevations of Colorado. But the possibility does exist for northwestern Oklahoma for some light freezing rain for tomorrow morning. Let's take a look and see what's going on right now. The area of low pressure still off to our west, pulling up lots of moisture, and because of that, the rain is going to be in the forecast for tomorrow for parts of Texas, Oklahoma, up into Kansas, and rain still off through Arkansas and Missouri. This system is going to make its way to the east, and as it does, we'll see gradual clearing, but that's not going to be coming until about Tuesday. Here, let's take a look at the satellite shot, and guess what it shows? Lots of clouds across Oklahoma. Again, no big clearing area. There is a small band of clearing over parts of the Rockies, but behind that there's yet another frontal system. If we take a look at the maps, we'll be able to show you that. We'll put these maps into motion. This is the cold air going to be moving in. Now that stuff is not that bad. Temperatures for the next couple of days will warm up, we think, into the 50s. The heavy-duty stuff will be coming back behind this next little system, and we have it moving in, and by Thursday temperatures will drop just a little bit. So we're going to see 1 or 2 dry days, and then the next little cool surge will move in here, but by Monday the rain should be pretty well out of the state. 5-day forecast calls for temperatures tomorrow. Well, you're not going to be able to catch up on the suntan, but temperatures will warm up to 43 degrees, rain continuing, and then Monday's looking pretty good, 44. Tuesday even warmer at 46 degrees. Wednesday's looking pretty good, then rain back in the forecast for Thursday. Our statistics for Oklahoma City go just like this. 39 degrees this morning, 47 the afternoon high temperature. Normals are 37 and 59 degrees, and here at the station we had almost 1.5 inches. Our forecast for tonight, cloudy and cold with scattered rain, winds shifting to the north. For tonight, or for tomorrow, cold and rain continuing. And then for the metro area tonight, rainy and cold. Tomorrow, cloudy, windy, and wet. Highs tomorrow in the 30s in the northwest, 40s in the southeast, 43 the high temperature in Oklahoma City for tomorrow, after an overnight low temperature of a cold 35. A little bit cold tonight, tomorrow in the middle 40s.
Okay, Dan, thank you very much. We'll be back right after this.
Cowboys Sooner showdowns in quite some time.
I guess so. It may be the biggest ever. Certainly the stakes are the highest in a long time. What better way for the Big 8 champion?
Served as assistant fire marshal since July and has been a part of the Oklahoma City Fire Department's force for 22 years. Rucker joined the state fire marshal's office in 1974.
President Reagan getting an early start on the Thanksgiving holiday wind down, and the bowl picture is getting clearer.
Today, both Oklahoma and Oklahoma State won to set up an Orange Bowl showdown next week. Bob Berry Jr. is next with comments from 2 happy locker rooms.
Excuse me, is that Butch?
That's right. Maybe because this is the best football state in the country, having just an unbelievable year. No state in the Union can brag about their college football like the state of Oklahoma. The 4th-ranked Oklahoma...
Ahead on 5 Live News, exhibiting the way of the Scouts. Stay with us.
The NFL doubleheader at noon and OU football at 6 p.m.
So what do you think will happen in the polls this week?
I think it'll be Oklahoma 2, Oklahoma State 3, or maybe the other way around.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I'm
close
anxious
as you can
to
get
see.
to the top.
Okay, thanks, Bob. We'll be back in a moment.
We'll have tomorrow's first news on World News This Morning, followed by Good Morning America. I'm Sam Donaldson. For all of us here at ABC News, good night.
From Washington, this has been World News Tonight, Sunday. A presentation of ABC News.
Sunday.
Living with you hasn't exactly been a walk in the park.
Oh, it hasn't. Hardcastle and McCormick are splitting up. Then, Bill Murray and Harold Ramis, those guys from Ghostbusters.
That's the fact.